Hey guys, what's up? It's Catrice. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if we're family. Hey, I don't know how everyone is feeling. Hopefully you're great. I know that for me personally, I'm hot. It's 100 degrees. It's been 100 degrees for a couple of days. So when it's 100 degrees outside, you stay inside. In the last few weeks here, I have really just been having self-development, I guess, on my mind, mental health, mental wellness. It's just something that every year resurfaces for me. And I think the reason is because it's very important for me to keep my mental health, my mental wellness well, for lack of better words. It's just always been a task that is on my to-do list. It's just always been there. And I have been so lucky to come upon a job that I love, a job where I get to chat with people about their self-development. And it always just shocks me how many people are just not in the right state of mind. And I can't even blame it on the times. You know, I wish I could say, oh, it's because, you know, it's 2020 and everything's crazy in 2020, but that's really not how this knowledge has come upon me. And I didn't want to sit here and chat with you guys about, you know, what you can do and tips and tools and tricks and all the things you can do to take your current mental state of being and make it shiny and new. I don't know about new, but shiny. And it is something that I definitely can do. But mostly today I wanted to just have a conversation with people to see how it is that we end up here in a state of feeling anxious, in a state of feeling not confident, in a state of feeling lonely. Now, don't get me wrong. I have been through my hardships. I know we have all been through our hardships, but why is it some people can pull themselves out of that hole and some people really, really struggle? Is beyond my comprehension, beyond my understanding. So floodgates open. Let me know. How do you feel about your self-confidence? How do you feel about your self-esteem? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel anxious about what's going on in life, in your life in particular? I think the one thing that stands out to me the most when I'm talking to people is, follow along here. I will ask a young person about their goals, about their aspirations, what it is they want to accomplish in their life. But we always tend to end up talking about confidence, anxiety. It's always a topic that pops up. And so when I'm talking to a young person, I'm like, oh, bet. This makes sense. You're young and you have your whole world ahead of you and you've got some figuring out to do. So it makes perfect sense that since you don't have things figured out, since you've been told how to do things your whole life, that you would need to make some mistakes, you would need to just come about some more information, some more knowledge to push you forward, to push you towards that level of confidence that we are all seeking as human beings. I'm like, young child, I got you, I understand. But then I'll start talking to people a little bit older and people also around my age. And again, will have the same conversation about their goals and their dreams and their aspirations. And somewhere in there, you know, what gets brought up is their lack of confidence and their anxiousness, and how, you know, they've been feeling super lonely. They just don't feel very confident in themselves. They don't feel confident in their abilities. They don't feel confident with the steps they're taking in life. They feel like people are judging them. They just don't understand how everyone else out there is so successful and how come they're struggling so much. They feel like the world is just like dropped down on them and there's nothing else they can do, because when it rains, it pours. And then I'm just like, okay, cool, I got it, because, you know, like, we're the same age, so I understand where you feel like you're looking out through these rose-colored glasses and through the world everything looks great, but when you look at home, looking at your own grass, you confused. You're like, I've been watering the grass, okay? Somebody's stealing the water. Somebody's taking it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm in this situation. And I'm thinking, okay, that makes sense, because we're just now figuring it out. You're still young enough to where you had a chance to make those mistakes. You've made the mistakes. Now you're realizing those mistakes have been made, and now you're just trying to shift. You're just trying to hard shift. So it's cool. But then I'll talk to an older person, and the conversation is always the same. I love, PS, by the way, talking to older people, because they do have the experience of life and of living. They do have those bits and nuggets that I want to listen to. I need to listen to see what the old person is saying, so I know what not to do in my life. I'm trying to get as much out of this as I can. And when I talk to older people who are still struggling with their confidence and loneliness, feelings of loneliness, they're still having feelings of being anxious. They still don't have enough esteem or respect of what they bring to the table. Well, then that moment is where I kind of just stopped in my tracks and said, what is it we're supposed to be doing? And how did we start at young child and end up at old child and have no progress in between? And I don't want people to go through their life with a lack of confidence. I don't want people to go through their life feeling lonely. I don't want people to go through their life feeling like they're not worth it, because they 100% are. I don't know if anyone has told you today, but you are a walking, living, breathing miracle. Literally, you rolled over one day and you were awake. You have been called here with a purpose. The life you lived is by immaculate design. It is mind-boggling to me that something so perfect, so miraculous, can think less than of themselves. I realize that the reason that I'm here, the reason that I put off this level of confidence, the reason that I have this well of confidence, the reason that I'm not worried about you or anything else that you're doing, the reason that I can be so honest and pure and like turn it on and like listen and be receptive, and then realize like if we're not in the same zone or playing field, or if you feel some adverse kind of way, I can immediately turn it off because I ain't got time for that. The reason is not because I was born with this well of confidence, this well of self-esteem. I wasn't born like this. It's something that I've been nurturing, and it's something that I decided that this was how I was going to live my life. I wanted to be proud of myself. I wanted to be all encompassing in my love. I wanted to be freely giving with my information, with my knowledge, with my love. I wanted to be freely receiving of those people around me who had information to give, who had love to give. I wanted to, before I just keep going on and on and on, because there's a whole list of things that I just wanted to be happy. I saw people out there who were happy, so I thought. And I was like, yo, If they can be happy out there, I'm about to be happy in here. And I started doing research. I'm like, okay, God, excuse me, how do I be happy in here? And you start to come upon all the things that it takes to be happy, and you just start to go after that. And I went after that for a very long time with reckless abandon, knowing that every day is not going to be a great day. Knowing that, of course, we're going to come across hardships. Knowing that life is just life. His whole job is to come through here swinging, seeing how many people he can knock down. That's just his whole job. You're not going to get out of this life without being knocked down. And I was always in process of giving myself tools to make sure that I could pick myself back up. Not because I was trying to be better than anybody, but because I thought everybody out there was doing the same thing I was doing. And I've come to find out that while I have been fostering this necessary whole of happiness, which is something you have to feed, it'll eat until it's full. And then when it's full, there's a hole there. So you have to continue to feed it. You have to continue to foster that emotion. While I was feeding it, other people were out there feeding the monster that is life. And life will eat you alive. Life will swallow you whole. Like, it don't make time for you like that. It really just doesn't. How are we here? Knowing what you know about yourself, knowing what it is you're capable of, knowing what it is your potential is, how is it that we're here? How are old people here? How are middle-aged people here? How are young adults here? How are young people here? How are we all in the same boat? And I always like to give things back to the world of education. Like they ain't teaching us straight, okay? They out here, they got us all the way messed up. They ain't teach us nothing. Just teach me something about myself, my self-confidence. I'm just trying to be better. You can't teach me how to be better. And the reason that I always place it back on education is because we spend so much time in education, but man, that's a hard one to push off on somebody else. It's hard to point a finger at somebody else and say, you're the reason that I'm not happy. And I realized in saying that, I'm like, oh, we are so worried about other people that of course we're looking outwards for our happiness. Of course we are. Because even when we're fake happy, even when we think we got it together, we're always still just looking around wondering if somebody approves of what we're doing. And if they do approve, then maybe they can tell us so that we know we should feel good about ourselves, so it's okay. And that really is not the world we live in. It's not the world we're supposed to live in. You're supposed to, you showed up here, literally rolled over one day and awake. You showed up here with a designed purpose in mind. And you're gonna need a little bit of confidence to get you through. You're gonna need a little bit of esteem to be happy. You're gonna need to not feel lonely. You're gonna need to not feel anxious all the time. And maybe that's not fair. Maybe it's not the fact that you need these things or don't need these things. It's just the discovery process, the understanding process, the processing process, and then the action part. The action, that's what we need to start making more moves on. Those habits of building happiness, those habits of building love, those habits of building confidence that we were born to be great here. In whatever capacity you call it, we were born to be great here. I'd love to chat with you guys more about all of these things: self-confidence, self-respect, self-love, self-care. I knew that we were having a problem, honestly, when self-love was a topic that started trending. I'm like, oh no. we got some other kind of problems here. In some respects, it's a good thing because we need to address it. But I don't believe in trending on self-love. That's something you need to get down. You need to get that down packed, for sure. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to talk more about these topics? I know that I do. I love these topics. I demand it of myself. If you want to talk more, let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Let me know that you're listening. Let me know that you want to hang out because you know that I hate saying goodbye. But you're going to come back, right? Come back. Hang out. We'll see you here soon. Bye.